Hey guys, today I got a bit of a different kind of video. My glasses are in the eye doctor shop. My wife's gonna pick them up today, so after today I can see. Got a video here for if you are wanting to get into silversmithing or goldsmithing. What I do is fabrication. There's tons of different areas of being a jeweler. You can do fabrication, you can do casting, you can do wire wrapping, you can do cold joining, which is essentially fabrication. A little different, there's no torches really involved. Those are just some areas. So I got a list of tools here. It's not everything that you could use, but it's the basic essentials. So starting off, we got hammers. There's so many kinds of hammers. You can spend $5 on a hammer, or you can spend $200 on a hammer. But the two main types that you're going to run into an area of which you need them is going to be a chasing hammer, which is just a really flat surfaced hammer. It has a big circumference. Well, it's not big, but compared to the work you're working on, it is. Then you have a Goldsmiths hammer that has a little chisel point on it. It's not an actual chisel, it's just in the shape of a chisel. It's actually flat with rounded edges. So these are small hammers. I think they are a 3-ounce and a 5-ounce. And then I have a big Goldsmiths hammer, a 500 gram. This I don't use it as much since I got a rolling mill. But these, they come in handy. One thing you're gonna have to note is the cheap chasing hammers usually come polished, but the other hammers, the Goldsmiths ones, you're gonna have to polish the surfaces on them. So the reason you want to polish the surface is because gold and silver is soft, and anything that touches it is going to leave a mark on it. So if you hit it with a polished surface, then the mark is going to be polished. There's hammers. We have Pickle Solution. I'll grab mine. It's food grade Pickle Solution. It's called Pickle It from Rio Grande. I'll have links in the description for all this stuff. So what this does is it cleans non-ferrous metals, meaning metals not containing iron. You do not want to put any iron in your pickle solution. You'll ruin it. So this stuff works best when it's hot. You just mix it with water. The more of this powder that you put in the water, the stronger the solution is going to get, meaning the faster it's going to work. You put that in a pickle pot. The pickle pot is just a crock pot. It just heats the water. You know, you can use an old baby bottle warmer if you really want to, and that cleans the oxides off the surface of your metal, and it dissolves the borax, the flux, which we'll get to. You're going to need a micro torch. This is the one I recommend. It's a Blazer. I know it's backwards on camera. Blazer piezo micro torch. You can get these a lot of places. The website I'll link to, you can get them to. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at like a head shop or a tobacco shop. All sorts of places sell them. If you look up the instructions for that online, they're going to tell you to use Blazer butane. Do not use that butane. Use refined butane. What do I use? I use Caliper or Vector. Those are really clean butanes and they burn very nicely. You're going to need pliers. So pliers, you honestly had no idea how many pliers they make until you get into smithing any kind of metal. There are hundreds of kinds of pliers. Here are just some of the basics that I use. These are beading pliers. They're really tiny and they're good for small work. These ones are kind of my favorite because of the tip here. You have no idea how handy these ones are. This is a half round to flat, which is really good for when you're working on a ring. If I can get this one off. You put the half round side on the inside of the ring and it holds it very nicely. These, for this specific brand, they're about 20 bucks a pliers. Not too bad. It's not the best quality though. When you're buying tools, they almost always need to be polished. Keep that in mind. This is a really high quality pliers here, but this is from the same company and this is a low quality pliers. I'm not really sure what's going on. Maybe they had a different shipment of metal come in and it's just not the same grade of steel, but I've bent these ones, the tips, a few times, and I just had to really hammer them back down. And these are these would still be considered small, but regular size for this kind of work. These would be your needle nose, flat jaw pliers. They also have specialty pliers, like parallel action pliers. This is a cheap pair. Don't buy the cheap pair. This bent and it doesn't close like it should. As you can see, why these are special pliers, specialty, is because the jaws open and close parallel to each other instead of like a alligator jaw. But this cheap pair bent the very first time I used them. You're gonna want to be spending like probably 30 to 50 bucks on that kind of plier. You have, these might not be considered a plier, but these are just, I think they used to be used for cutting like excess growth on hooves for animals, but I use them to cut wire. They work really good. Junk pliers, anything works, you know. Old pliers in your toolbox, you might need to grind the teeth down a little bit. And this might be a two-part video. I can only record 10 minutes at a time on this phone. These are oval forming pliers. It just has two oval tips on it, different dimensions, I guess you'd say, circumferences. But it's not a circle, so. Next on the list we have your piercing saws. So there's a few kinds that you can get if you're not wanting to spend hundreds of dollars on saws. I fully understand. So the cheap ones that I use are called a German frame. They are really good. This is all I use. I have two others. So this is a 3-inch saw frame, meaning it has 3 inches from here to here. This is a 6-inch, same style saw frame, German. That's 6 inches from here to here. I think it might be a little more, but then this is a different kind of saw frame. It's a Eclipse saw frame. Works all right with the smaller blades. It doesn't really like to hold them. They kind of slip out. And then saw blades. So you can spend 30 bucks on a pack, or you can spend 17 and get essentially the same saw blade. This is what I use. I can only find these saw blades on Amazon. They're called Pike Jeweler saw blades. These are 3/0. They come in a pack of 144. This is what they look like. Both sections come filled. They're really tiny. 3/0 is going to get you through pretty much any work you need to do. They have, I think it's 8 or 16 different size blades. You need a bench pin, which is this right here. Now they make these in a couple different forms. I like this one because it gives you a little anvil. They have ones that can screw in to the side of your bench right here, and it's just this little piece. When you buy it, it's going to be much longer, and you're going to end up working it down. It doesn't come with this slot either. You have to put that in yourself. You can get ones that come out on like with a handle and a swivel. Bench pin is essential. You're definitely going to need one. Your bench anvil. Okay, so they're cute, right? But they are very functional. This one was about 20 bucks. I really like the look of it. I got it on Amazon.